Hey, Bucho, did you
What?
hear?
What?
The real numbers came out for Wilder
Oh
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
What is it? What
Bullshit.
is it?
I just want to get your thoughts on the Wilder pay-per-view numbers. Have you heard anything?
I heard that it was just shy. Right, the last I heard was just under 200,000, around 190, 92.
Okay.
I mean, it's regardless. It's fucking bad. It's real bad because think about it. It was guaranteed money. That DAZN offer was huge to Wilder because what it did, whether he took the offer or not, it was a win-win in a way because it forced Heyman's hand, forced him because he couldn't just turn to Heyman and say, "Listen, call his people." First, there was rumblings about a year ago when it was a lot of the heat. It was heating up between Joshua and the back and forth with Joshua and him. There was a lot of rumblings about Wilder was upset, wasn't feeling he wasn't getting the fucking the promoting and whatnot. People weren't doing, and he was right. They weren't. Nobody was fucking promoting the kid. Maybe that's why he said some of them stupid things. So then DAZN turns around and offers him that money, and Wilder supposedly was literally a cunt away from taking it. The only thing that held it up, I don't know if this is true, was they wouldn't tell him what Joshua was going to get paid. If they would have said, "This is what we're going to pay Joshua," it was going to be a done deal. He was going to sign the deal, take the DAZN money. But the last minute, Finkel wanted to know what fucking, what are you paying Joshua? And what, to me, it's kind of stupid because it doesn't really matter because you're still getting 120 million.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you want to count on the dude's money, whatever. So he was pissed. Of course, he's going to take that information back to fucking Heyman, who's not easy to get a hold of. It's not like they call Heyman directly. They call, his secretary, which is funny, too, because he surrounds himself with his lawyer's white, his fucking little, a redhead, freckled-faced fucking kid, his execution who handles all the media is a white broad.
Oh.
It's just funny, you know what I mean? I just think that's kind of funny. It goes to show you, he don't give a fuck about, he just wants the money. But so now it forces his hand. So what are you going to do? Okay, you're fighting Brazil. Now think about that. He was fighting Brazil. That was a walkthrough. Everybody knew he was going to beat him. It was just a question of what round he was going to knock him out, right? He got $20 million for that.
Jeez.
So that fight, yeah, dude, that fight lost. I mean, they took a bath. Took a fucking bath, and there's no way Showtime paid that kind of money.
No.
So he's taking money, he's floating credit. He's taking money. The PBC is still up for sale, by the way. Still trying to sell that. They're trying to sell the name. They took all their merchandise. PBC patented a whole bunch of shit, shirts, gym bags, protein powders, all the shit. Like, remember before I said I don't know how they could have approached Waddell and Reed with just an idea. Without anything, they had it all written. I mean, I guess it was an incredible presentation, a line of clothing and all the stuff he was going to have. Because you have to have, if you don't have something proprietary, you know what I mean, to make money off of, it's just a name. So, but that was all. If you go to the page that you can look up different things. All the shit under PBC has been abandoned. It says right in the thing, abandoned. So they gave up on all that, and they gave up on it in 2016. So within a year of fucking the launch, they had already abandoned all their shit they were going to. Because remember, we've all talked about it. How come you never saw any hats, jackets? You know what I mean? They have stages, but you guys don't have hats, PBC hats. It was just weird. But anyways, so Deontay said $120 million, so he had to pay him big money for him to stay. So he said, okay, listen, I'm going to pay you $20 million for your next fight, regardless of who it is. Wilder's like, all right. He goes, so we're going to start looking at $20 million a payday. For everything, you know what I mean? So, like, fine. So if he figured 4 or 5 fights as close to the 120.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he wanted to be loyal to Heyman. I also heard he's pretty buried into that contract, but it was close to being up. But so he got $20 million for that. For this way, he only got $4 million for Fury. So that was a $16 million guaranteed payday. Then he got $20 million guaranteed for this fight. So, like, I just saw the kid broke it down pretty good. Actually, I did the math one, but if it was $27 million, not even talking about the $3 million Santa Cruz got and all those other purses, just the fucking guaranteed money for the headline was $27 million. if they sold at $75 a piece, they have to sell 320,000 pay-per-views just to make that. But now here's the caveat. You got to double that because the carrier, the pay-per-view carrier, Fox,
50.
instantly takes 50% right off the top. So now that 320 PPVs has to jump to, 360. So it has to go up to 720.
Yeah, that's what I heard, 7 something, yeah.
720,000 just to break even. Anything after that was gravy.
Wow.
So if they're selling 200,000, you ain't gonna tell me that Bill Wagner Monday morning wasn't at a fucking meeting. It wasn't like, wow, we put, rumor has it that it was equivalent because, of course, when they put ads on their own network between football games and whatnot, they really did push the fuck out of that fight the last week. Yes.
Why did Fox go along with this?
Well, because it's not Fox isn't on the hook for the money. They just get they're going to be pissed because they're going to be pissed because they were expecting. Like, remember, if they see that Wilder's getting 20 million, so they're fucking okay. What's he's getting? So that's 27. So this dude has to. If we're getting 50%, and him to cover the fucking nut, this dude's expecting to sell 750,000 pay-per-views. So in their head, I'm telling you right now, they're writing everything off. They're projecting numbers, even if they say we might not do that because it's closer to Christmas. It might do between 5 and 7. So think about the money that they didn't lose, but they didn't make. But they're gonna look at it. But the money, I'm sorry, I'll let it go. I'll get it. I know I've been rambling, but they put a lot of advertisement in, but they only did it for a week on the shows and whatnot. But anyways, that took a bath. So where does he go from here? Where is he gonna get the next 20 to pay him? That's all I'm saying. Who's going to pay his? Well, they're hoping that Fury, because it's, all that. But
anyone with a brain, anyone knows anything about boxing. It's funny how me and you knew this, Jimmy. Me and you know that there's no way that Deontay Wilder's getting 750,000 buys on pay-per-view. We know that. We don't work for Fox. We don't work for PBC, but we know that. Why don't these guys know that? They're putting up that sort of money up. Didn't they think to look into it and see, well, this is the numbers this guy's getting? I mean, I'll tell you what, something very fishy going around. Something very fishy going around. A scam.
I know a lot of people like to shit on him, just because everybody likes to shit on people who, know a lot of shit. But, the guy Rick Glazer on Facebook, he's mostly high on. Dude, that dude is almost always within 20,000 on the pay-per-views. Like, supposedly, like, top ranked people have hired him to say, because he has a feeler. I guess over the years, 27 years, he's established a bunch of hardcore fans. And what he does is he emails them. He sent 1,500 or so of these hardcore fans throughout the country, and he emails them a week before the fight or a month before the fight, different times. Are you going to buy this fight? What have you heard? And from that, he formulates if it's going to buy. He said it was going to do 240. So he was actually on the Boxing Voice, and it was like fucking. It was like chalk to the foot. It was like nails on a chalkboard to hear though Ness trying to like, but if you say that, then you mean this, and like trying to conflate what he just said with some other weird angle. It was actually painful to listen to. It was just like this fucking fanboy was heartbroken because everybody who called that show. I heard for like a week, he was asking anybody in the business, so what do you think? How do you think this is going to do for pay-per-view? You think he's going to pull over 5? He's going to pull over 5? But probably closer to 1 million, right? I mean, he was just going berserk. Oh, yeah, dude. So he had, and so what happened when Glazer said, he goes, that black guy Mike says to Glazer, so what do you think he could do to get to that pay-per-view stardom? And Glazer coldly says, nothing. He's not a crossover star. Basically, he was hinting around the fact he went too militant with that to this day bullshit. That doesn't endear you to middle America.
Jimmy, I said the other day, he's unmarketable. You can't really. The companies are looking at him thinking, now, do we want to be associated with this guy? Some of the things, the way he behaves. Like you said, that comment didn't help him, but nor did the one that you said he wanted to see a man die in the ring.
That one hurt him the most. I heard that one because think about it. If you're an enemy of whatever company endorses him,
we are in a snowflake era where people lose endorsements, lose their sponsorships for the smallest of things these days, saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. And,
10 years ago too. Not even like recently. They'll find out shit you said 10 years ago and fire you are.
Now, Jimmy, I do believe with the Fury fight with the good dance partner, he will sell. But how will that work? Will it be a a cross promotion like Lennox Tyson, or
Oh,
will
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. You kidding me?
okay?
Heyman's gonna hand the reins right over to Bob. Absolutely. Because Bob's the man, you know what I mean? Like I know he fucks around too, but you got to look at the environment, everything going on too. It's hard to make fights with Heyman, but yeah, no, he'll once the fight's made, because think about it. Why is Heyman making that fight, right? Like if you look right down all the other belts, I can't even think of another champion who's going cross promotion and doing it. I was told that was part of the whole. He walked in, and basically Shelley Finkel said, "Make the deal." He wants to fight Fury, so he wanted that fight because he thought he was going to starch him, and that's why that fight was made, because he demanded, like, I want that fight. So any champion can make a fight if they demand it hard enough. But yeah, no other champion's doing it. So, but yeah, no, Bob will definitely, because Fury has cross appeal. He has the European, he has the Canadian. And
The
also found out
WWE
too.
fan base?
Why Khan always goes on pay-per-views, and it makes sense now. I found out because I guess out in the Middle East, because of his religion, the Muslim religion, I guess they buy a ton of it, but they can't get it any other way unless it's a pay-per-view. So that's the reason why they always put his fights on pay-per-view. That's what. Well, anyways, that's what Glazier said. I just thought that was kind of a weird note, because I was always wondering why every time this guy fights, it's a pay-per-view. But yeah, no, Wilder's. I just know the next thing is this Fury fight, which is guaranteed money, and it's gonna get big cross promotion, so there will be money there. But after that, he better hope that Fox is giving another. But that $50 million is already spent. Showtime, you think Espinosa's going to be doing backflips? He is so fucking furious right now. And for Wagner to come out and rub salt in his wound in that interview with Mannix, to sit there and say, we'll let Showtime have the smaller fights. Basically talking about him. Yeah, basically talking about him in an interview like they were junior partner. Now, Showtime has made all those fucking PBC fighters. They've been carrying Al's water for years. And to suddenly turn around. So when the PBC originally fell, I mean, they had 5-year money that was supposed to last 5 years. That was their, that money that was working capital for 5 years. They ripped through that in 2 years. So what happened? They went to Espinosa. Espinosa was able to bundle up, I was told, instead of they get quarterly money or bi-yearly for boxing, he was able to put the whole years together in 2016 and give it to him then to help him continue it. So he's been able, and then he found the Fox deal. But I'd be hard-pressed to see Showtime fucking throwing him any big money. Look to see the app thing go hard. I think Fox might try to turn to the app and try to do this, same thing like the Zone's doing. But if they do that, they have full intention of making the PBC inclusive, standalone outfit. PBC belt, PBC fighters, that's it. Sort of like the UFC. That's what I was told, if they go that route.
How dangerous is that, though? I mean, can they even pull it off at this point? I mean, I don't know.
No. I mean, for what? Until his crop retires? Who the fuck? What young fighter would want to be involved in that shit? You're complete. Now they have you by the balls. You got to do everything they say. You can't. It's like being a UFC fighter, which everybody says like terrible because they got you by the fucking cojones, So yeah,
They've
no.
already
And
come out and said that they're doing 5 pay-per-views a year. Yeah. They're gonna rake.
But the thing is, though, exactly. There's the key. They're gonna rake in, but they just even though they didn't lose the money, Fox, they didn't make anywhere near the fucking kind of money that's gonna justify another Saturday night. Think about it. They could have probably made more on ad revenue on something, on a fucking rerun or something. That's terrible. Under 200,000 for a WBC heavyweight champion, and it comes down to this: you can fucking fluff up and buff up a pile of shit. I'm not saying Wilder is. I'm saying his resume is a pile of shit long enough, smoke and mirrors, and all the promotion you want and bullshit. When you fight bum after bum, and then you get up to that magical 10 defenses, which is a guaranteed Hall of Fame trip, right? And then you start fucking saying, "Wait a minute, dude." Then it gets to the point like, "Wait, Hall of Fame? What?" He lost every minute of that fucking fight the other day until he caught him with that right. You know what I mean, dude? It's one fucking slob after another slob. And Ortiz, for all his boxing ability, the dude's close to the fucking collected, you know what I mean, whatever, the retirement fucking money. I mean, he's got to be 50 years old. So it's become to the point now. Think about how Heyman's dealt with things. In boxing, my whole lifetime is certain guarantees. 4 division champ, boom, you got the keys to Canasona. You're in Hall of Fame. Done deal, right? Fucking 10 defenses as a heavyweight champion. Throughout history is almost a guaranteed you're in. So he's flipping this shit upside down. It's like, wait a minute, Garcia, Santa Cruz, and fucking Brona. Would anybody on this panel put any one of those guys right now in the Hall of Fame? No way. Would anybody put fucking Wilder in the Hall of Fame? No way. So he's taking even boxing norms. Okay, Katie, I'll let you out. All right, buddy. Come on, sorry. Come on, it's snowed out, buddy. You ain't gonna go through, buddy. Yeah. So they fucking he's just so we can sit there and talk about it, and people can try to defend Heyman. But like I always said, after a while, the shit he does speaks for itself. Look at how even guys he's promoted to those levels still don't. It's like because who they fought. He did stupid things like sign that deal with Barclays. That's what really hurt them. Really hurt them. You got to generate fighters in their own backyard. You get people talking about them. Fuck was everybody fighting out of Barclays, which I don't know if you guys have ever been there. I know fucking boy from New York, he knows about it. But if you're not from that area, it's not an easy place to get to. It was kind of it's out from Brooklyn and shit. It just wasn't a smart idea. No geographical relevance to any fighter. It just was stupid. He's never had a sellout. Think about that. Since the PBC started, he's never had a sellout. That's crazy. But
that's right. Start them in their hometowns or near their hometowns.
Yeah. I don't understand why they decided to pay him 20 million. How many fights are they supposed to pay him 20 million?
Yeah, he's got to pay him 20 pretty much now as a guaranteed 20 every time he fights. That's what he's going to expect.
How many fights are left in the contract?
I don't know if he's got what kind of contract he's got him on. Like I said, I was told they're like Bibles. They're fucking like War and Peace. Their contracts are so thick. You know what I mean? So there's nobody in the PBC. Like, you notice you don't see a lot of PBC guys doing ads. Did you know that under Heyman, that's Heyman he keeps, I guess, I was told, it's true, but he keeps 50% of anything attached to those, any endorsements, even if they did a local car lot appearance, he gets 50%. I don't know how long after, but so he's got his hands tied and everything. He gets 15% of the purse. So he got 15% of everybody's purse the other night, right? So if you do the math there, that's some fucking good money. Then he gets the percentage of the gate, and he gets a percentage of the fucking pay-per-view if it turns money. But regardless, he's making money. Even if it's money, borrowed money that it's, he's still making his percentage off it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's in the red. So, yeah, dude, he don't give a fuck about the sport. Everything he does says he doesn't care about the sport. He's in it to fucking pad in his bank account. He thought he could dominate it. It didn't come true. I think he's just riding it out. PBC is absolutely for sale. People can go online and see that. It's fucking absolutely for sale. And why is it for sale? What's that?
Jimmy, who'd want to buy that though, bro? There's no fucking money in it.
Exactly. So I know exactly. He tried to sell it like, fucking, what are you going to sell? That old stage you're going to have to pull out and that Hans Zimmer music?
Hey, Bucho, did you hear?
What?
The real numbers came out for Wilder.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? What is it?
250?
At first was reported at 139, but that's not true. It's 290?
Almost 300,000.
No, I don't know if that's official, but that's what I heard.
Yeah, I've heard a bunch of different numbers too. Glacier has it at 138. He's usually pretty good. But you see that kid, somebody fucking DM'd me the first 5 minutes of the boxing voice. Man, Ness, talk about fucking, it was almost, you almost want to fucking send this to a psychologist and go, dude, this guy is almost pretending he's not the biggest fanboy. The damage control this dude was doing. First off, he says Jake's article read 250K to not going above 300, right? That's what he said about Jake Donovan's article. Within 10 seconds, he goes, okay, so 250 is the lowest. We're starting at 300, right? And then he's like, dude, within 3 minutes, he's up to like, so if this thing's doing 340, 350, it's not that that's respectable. Triple G did 140. Dude, this, I maybe conflating that Triple G story because there was another time he was talking about it too. But he was, it was, even you go to his fucking comments, I just went, buzz through it to see what people saying. Dude, people just hammering him. Fucking just, I won a tour because I had some stuff to kill, some time to kill today. Won a tour on YouTube, man. There's some funny motherfuckers, some dense motherfuckers, boy. A lot of crow-eating pricks, man. Ego, did you hear Ego's speech? Saying the old school media, he was doing it to a rhyme. Old school media, fucking looking like fools. Oh, don't make me bust out a bar here. He was fucking going on about how this is the fucking face of boxing. He surpassed Canelo.
Wow.
Oh my God, it was fucking insane.
They're talking as if that fight did $1 million pay-per-view buys or something.
They fucked up too. They fucked up too, Jimmy, because they were selling the tickets really, really expensive.
They gave them away.
For the free tickets that they were giving away.
Yeah, listen, the gate did $4 million, right? So you just break it down. The pay, right? The pay total, I think, came out to $33 million, I think, total. So all the guarantees, Wilder and Ortiz got 27. That's 100%. Then you throw in the other money, say $33 million. So minus $4 million off that, you're at what, fucking 29 million? So 29 million. So even at, say they did for 29 million, you would need, let's just stick at 27. Let's just deal with those two knuckleheads pay. You would need 360,000 pay-per-views at $75 a piece to cover 27 million. But remember, the provider, the cable provider, gets 50% right off the rip. So you got to automatically double those pay-per-views. So he needed to sell 720,000 pay-per-views just to fucking, to break even. So anything below that, so even if they're squeaking it up to 290, like this, which is like, I don't buy for a fucking second. Listen, 2 weeks later,
I think
trying to cover their bases.
More right.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Yeah. Listen, I bet you it's definitely close to 138. I bet you it's close to 138. Listen, 2 weeks later, and Dave and Jake saying that, the fucking that what was he saying? The holidays. That's what was a fucking. I saw Pony Express hand fucking delivered. It's such bullshit. Those providers track those numbers live because they have to pay the taxes off that. They have to pay the fighters off that. That shit's known before they close the lights down at the end of the night. They have that, or at least a very close estimate. What they were doing was trying to see who leaked it, who knew, how far they can bring it up. Because to Deontay Wilder, imagine being Deontay Wilder right now, being Shelley Finkel. That dude looks like the biggest fucking donkey in boxing. He spent the last 2 years screaming from the mountaintops that fucking Wilder is the face of boxing. And fucking deserves 50% of if they ever saw Anthony. He just went up, the WBC champion, doing something that should have got him in the Hall of Fame, his 10th defense. Instead, it posted, all right, let's split the difference. They're saying 290, he said 138. Let's say 200. Let's say 210. It's still lost tens of millions of dollars. Now, this is the second fight in a row Deontay Wilder has lost tens of millions of dollars for somebody. Showtime picked up the fucking Brazil tab, and that's how he got fucking bent over, too. Steven Esposito, a lot of people bust on him. I don't really know the fuck, but he negotiated that deal. Listen, don't go to the zone. We'll take care of you. But they're offering big. Listen, boom. We're going to give you $20 million for this Brazil fight, but you're going to fucking have your next fights with us. He took that $20 million and ran right to Fox and took a pay-per-view and fucking, and that's why I remember first when, I guess Al first went to Steven Espinoza with that, said, listen, you did cover the Brazil, so we're going to offer you the pay-per-view. And Steve's like, wait a minute, you're offering me to lose another $10 million? What do you think? I don't like my job? So, of course it comes out in boxing scene, it just didn't make sense for us. But no, he was like, fuck that. So
listen, Espinoza knew what he was talking about. There's a reason
exactly, dude.
That number, 290 or 300, is more closer to what Glazer reported, which was 138, maybe 150. Get out of here. That fight was not gonna. Nobody was gonna buy that fight by the Bundits. He's
What did
crazy.
it take so long?
Against a guy you knocked out before.
What did it
We
take
talked
so long?
fish is fish.
See, my theory on
puncher.
that. My theory on why it took so
He
long.
punches hard.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Jimmy.
Gonzalo.
No, I was going to say my theory on that is they couldn't just bark out anything. So you sit back and you wait. You see what kind of fucking, you just follow. I mean, it takes 2 seconds to go on Twitter, see what's going on. People started saying 250, 250. That was put out about a week ago. And that became the storyline. And then Jake Donovan, I'm telling you, that was the one that everybody ran with. That it was fucking, he wrote, unnamed sources told boxing scene. So unnamed sources could be any one of us. Unnamed sources told,
meaning he's lying.
78.
So exactly. So it could have been anybody. Exactly. In the industry, it's standards. So Ego, that kid, I really like him on Twitter, man. He texted, tweeted him. He said, of course, the fucking Donovan doesn't answer him back ever. But he said, what makes your sources any better than Rick Glacier's, who actually put out his phone number on Facebook? If you have any questions on how I arrived to this number, call me and I'll tell you.
And what's the other source? What's the other source?
And Rick and Jake Donovan, the one that everybody's running with, the boxing voice. Mm-hmm. Jake Donovan's a kid with 2,300 followers. He doesn't do bad work. He's out of New York. And he said he named unnamed sources told boxing scene. So right away, this was open up the fucking TBV. He starts out, okay, so we got it at 250, 300, and that's from boxing scene. That's from boxing scene. So this is legit.
You know what?
I think it was definitely below 200. But now this is, like I said, the second fight in a row. So now who's he going to get now? So Bob Arum is laughing his tits off because believe me, Bob Arum knows how many pay-per-views sold. So now, Bob Arum will start leaking it as they go into negotiations. I guess the ink is already dry for the Fury fight, so maybe not. But now this puts even Bob in more of a driver's position. Fury will carry this pay-per-view. It's now official. I mean, again, it's just, and I'll tell you what really bugs me. Remember when Triple G had his first fucking pay-per-view? HBO did put it out at 150. Rick Glacier said, "Nah, I'm sorry, man. It was 98." And he stuck to that, right? The fucking LDBC carried that flag like the flag of war into Europa, You know what I mean? And carried that for 3 years. Nope, it was 97. Triple G did 97. Rick Glacier. All of a sudden, Rick Glacier said 138, and that man's heresy. Some white-hating motherfucker who's married to a black woman.
But that's an interesting point that you made, Jimmy, because
it's hypocrisy. It's just a joke. I'm sorry.
That's interesting because Bob Arum have no reason to downplay Deontay Wilder's success because he needs a dance partner in the next fight to sell above the 1.5 million projection, maybe 2 million in the super fight coming up in February 22nd. He got no reason to downplay the dance partner that he needs in Deontay Wilder. But at the same time, he's not going to lie blatantly to where, he's not going to speak the truth. If anything, he's going to try to, speak positive about Deontay Wilder. But you can't really speak too positive to where you're going to lie and embellish the facts. Yes.
Well, I was told that the people around Top Rank are hoping if it hits even 700. That's what they're out publicly. They're going to say 2 million, obviously, right? But they're expecting if it hits 700, they'll be lucky. They know that. I mean,
look,
the first
Jimmy, if I'm Bob Arum, I want to say Deontay Wilder did great. But how much can I embellish the facts to where I'm not speaking real truth? Yeah, I want to say they did great because that's going to be his dance partner to where ESPN fighter and Tyson Fury in the next fight. Because to his success, he needs a dance partner as well, but he cannot.
Well, and he needs more than he also needs a surrogate daddy because who else? Because now he's demanding $20 million a fight. How long? How many more people? Like I tweeted this. I tweeted how many more people are willing to go broke to make Deontay Wilder rich? You know what I mean? Because he's not he's not pulling any fucking money back. So he's costing. He's costing motherfuckers a lot of money. So it's either he's going to have to take a huge haircut. But now listen, this is what it comes down to, okay? And and I'm not trying to be fucking mean. I hold no animus against the kid. I feel bad. I thought at the beginning when I first read about him, his daughter's story, and I thought this kid had everything. Cause, dude, I'll tell you the shit he said. Now mind you, again, because I like to talk to. I don't see when we talk in an echo chamber, we only like go up against each other, right? I'm telling you, what's really good, man. Find people who have nothing to do with boxing, and those are the people you get. You know what I mean? Really know what the society's thinking. So I talk to people who know nothing about boxing, almost across the board. When I say Deontay Wilder, you know what they mention? 3 things went viral about Deontay Wilder. I want to body somebody in the ring. Okay, that was on TV news. Okay, the second one was I want to cripple a man in front of his children, and the third was till this day, sounding like a moron. Okay, because I don't have to tell you it's understood. What are you afraid of Google? I mean, it was so.
We've been fighting 400.
I mean, I'm just being honest. That didn't enjoy him.
We've been fighting 400 and still fighting to this day.
400 years.
It was a fucking man not educated on what's really going on, and then try to use it to and then screamed at Radio Rockham like that. He looked like and if honestly, I'm not racist, and it turned me off. I couldn't imagine if somebody, white middle America might have a little racism in them. They fucking be like, fuck that. So now, mind you, those are the 3 things. And I think what's his name? Because he has a black wife, he can, be honest about shit like that. He's like, Deontay Wilder went out of his way to fucking, isolate, not. The bottom line is, when black people make up 13% of the population, in order to be a pay-per-view star in the United States, by sheer number, you're going to have to attract the white audience. Deontay Wilder didn't, and it's obvious. You know what I mean? That's just the long and short of it. And then, you can dance around and say, but again, this uses, like Fred Hawthorne will use this for, race bait. No, that's what it, no. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying is fucking 100% true.
Yeah, definitely. Julio Cesar Chavez fought in the undercard.